Everyone makes mistakes. So did I. But does that give my girlfriend the right to decide whether I should be a father or not? And she's not even straight out denying me the opportunity. She's putting conditions on her giving birth. Is that even fair? Am I the a-hole here, or is she the real a-hole? So a few days ago, my girlfriend found out that she's pregnant. Even though it was a surprise for her, it's not like we're not ready for kids. In fact, we've already talked about kids and we both want them. So obviously, when she broke the news to me, I was beside myself with happiness. I was so excited that I'll finally get to be a father and how I'm finally gonna be a family man. Most of my friends are either married or fathers, and now finally it's my turn to give them the good news. I quickly hugged my girlfriend and told her that it's the best gift she'd ever given me. But something was wrong because she wasn't laughing or smiling. In fact, her expression was more sad than anything. When I asked her what's wrong, she said words that slapped me across the face. She said that even though it's good news and that we always wanted to have kids, she can't give birth to my kid unless I promise her something. I immediately said I'll do anything. I'll give her the world at this point. Then she looked up something on her phone and showed me 2 videos. I was shocked when I saw them. The first one was me in the house drinking with my friends. Now I rarely drink, and even when I do, I make sure my girlfriend isn't around. So it was a shock to me that she checked CCTV recordings. So I was drunk and one of my friends said something to me about how my girlfriend is sexy and I'm so lucky. I got possessive and angry and beat him up. It was so bad that we had to take him to a hospital. The next video was the one where I was trying to open the door to my car while drunk to drive him to the hospital, and when I couldn't manage to open it, I got so pissed that I took the baseball bat and destroyed my car. This is the reason why I don't get drunk in front of my girlfriend. I'm an aggressive drunk and get very violent. It's my fundamental nature, and I don't want her to see me that way. The few times I do party or drink is when she's out of town visiting somewhere for a few days. When my girlfriend showed me those videos, she told me that she asked my friends about it, and they all said that I'm a violent person since childhood and have anger management issues. Lately, as I've matured, those issues have gotten better, but they are still there. She told me that she can't give birth and raise a child with someone who can fly off the handle at any time. She doesn't want even the slightest chance of becoming a domestic violence victim, and that her condition is that I take therapy. I quickly shut her down. I do everything I can to make sure that nothing destroys our relationship, especially my vices. Then why does she have to put her nose in matters that don't concern her? I have never once put her in harm's way, and I plan to be the best father. I managed to avoid drinking or getting high in front of her, and I know my self-control enough that I'll never let myself go free like that. I told her that instead of trying to find things that make me look bad, she should focus on how much I've cared for her and how even after having urges and violent tendencies, I was in control enough of myself to not let her come to know about those things. I told her it's not her business to go snooping around what I do in her absence, and she should keep her nose out of it. Y'all, am I really the a-hole if I've successfully shielded her from my own nature? Does a video about my weak times give her the right to boss me around and withhold giving birth to my child? Doesn't it actually make her the real a-hole who's trying to put conditions on the best day of my life and ruin it by saying she won't allow me to be a father? Are her concerns even genuine, seeing how she had to resort to CCTV recordings to even know about my weak points? Doesn't it say how good of a man I am if I didn't let the world find out about the things that could get me in trouble? After much consideration and a lot of talk with my girlfriend, I finally decided to accept her conditions. She kept on telling me all this time that she really loves me, but if it comes down to choosing between me and a safe life for her kid, she'll choose the latter without any hesitation. Even though she understands where I'm coming from, and the fact that she doesn't have any idea about how possessive or violent I can be, just goes on to tell her that I can hide things from her, and that makes her not trust a lot of things. She doesn't want to doubt our relationship or live in fear that one day I'll be too stressed for a number of reasons and my control might slip even for just a second. But that 1 second of mistake, if it happened in front of our kid, could lead to so many worse things. After all, no amount of good memories can replace a bad memory, and significantly when it comes to growing children. She said she knows that I'll be the best father and would love her kid purely and deeply, but she can't take any chances. Even if the chances of something like that happening are close to null. She said that it's better to face and address a problem now before it festers. She really wants to start a family with me, and that's why I'd make it easier for her if I can get therapy for my anger issues. Since the points she made were genuinely concerning, I decided to do it for her. Even though I still think it's not such a big deal, I can't help but accept all her conditions because I love her and really want to have a family with her. I can't see her troubled or sad, so I'll start seeing a therapist soon. For now, after all the fights and discussions, we were finally able to put everything aside and rejoice in the fact that we're gonna be parents. I am so excited to have this baby. The next 9 or so months are going to be the longest of my life while I wait for this kiddo to be born in this world. Oh man, I can't wait to hold my little kid. Decided to leave an update for all the people who send me private messages congratulating or wishing me well in therapy. To tell you the truth, it hasn't been easy. I thought therapy would be a breeze, but it's more tardy than anything else. My therapist has been talking a lot about my past to find out the cause of this deep-seated anger inside of me. He also encourages me to let loose and discover exactly how I feel, which I'm not gonna lie is a lot harder since I've always practiced control. On the other hand, my girlfriend is starting to show her bump. She is the prettiest thing I've ever seen, even though all morning she stares daggers at me, cause I made her like this and she now has to suffer through morning sickness. I am also planning to propose to her soon. As soon as I see her getting a little better, I treat her to a dinner and propose later. Obviously, the finer details will be much more special. Every day is so long while we wait 9 months to pass us by, and we can have our kid in our arms. Hopefully, the rest of the time is as uncomplicated as it's been so far. I finally proposed to her and she said yes, which to be honest I knew, but still I was sweating buckets the whole time. Since she was pregnant and didn't feel like going outside, I arranged everything at home. I decorated the whole house with lilies, her favorite flower, and made dinner. Her friends helped me out too. The moment she walked in the house, she already knew what's happening, and she didn't even wait for me to ask the question. She just said yes, and told me to get her chicken drumsticks as she's craving those, and I should better be a good fiancé and fulfill her wishes. Man, I'm so lucky to have her. With the baby and everything, the wedding won't be anytime soon, but still we're officially engaged. The baby kicked, and I was there to feel it. It was the first time that happened, and oh man, I can't express my happiness over this simple moment. It was a much needed moment of happiness for both me and my wife. She's been experiencing a lot of hormonal symptoms. Her mood swings are so severe that I can't even breathe anywhere near here without irritating the hell out of her. But I've been enduring since she's the one going through a body change and is dealing with so much more. My therapy sessions have also progressed a lot, and my therapist said that at this pace we'll soon be able to stop seeing each other. Not gonna lie, I also feel a lot better now with myself. My kid is here. It's a girl, and she's so tiny that her little hand barely wraps around my pinky. I didn't think I was capable of feeling this much love for anything, but the moment I saw her, I just wanted to stay by her side and never let her out of my sight. I'm going to keep her safe from this world. My wife is also recovering. It was a normal delivery and the doctor said the baby is one of the healthiest they've ever delivered. My wife is currently admitted in the hospital and they said that we'll be able to go home in a couple of days. I just wanted to update here for the people of the subreddit who have been keeping up with my story and have wished us well. I'm finally a father. It sounds so surreal, but it's true. We've still not agreed on a name that we both like, so feel free to leave some suggestions. Not a-hole. I don't think you're the a-hole or your girlfriend is the a-hole here, because both of you have some genuine concerns. A mother would never knowingly get her child in a situation where it can harm the kid mentally, physically, or emotionally, but at the same time she wouldn't know about your issues if she hadn't checked the CCTV recordings, so it's safe to say that even without therapy, you are faring well. You're the a-hole. I think you're the a-hole here who has to hide a part of himself just so his girlfriend won't find out about his negative habits. If you really love her and trust, you would have let her know about everything sooner, and she'd have helped you instead of finding out this way. I think her doubts and concern are very real. 8 years ago, my best friend since childhood, 30 female at the time, I'll call her M, completely ghosted me. She fully cut me off without a word of explanation. I honestly still have no idea why she did it. There wasn't a fight or any incident that I could pinpoint. I texted her 2 or 3 times to ask her to please explain what I'd done and to at least talk to me one last time, but she never did. It was traumatic and painful, and I was hurt and sad and angry. It took several years, but I eventually was able to make peace with the situation. I'm no longer resentful with or angry at M, but I have no desire to interact with her ever again. Another one of my childhood friends, V, is still close with both M and me, but told me at the time that she didn't know why M cut me off. I never knew if that was 100% true, but I didn't want to put V in the middle of anything, so I let it go. I found out a few days ago from V that M's husband died suddenly. She started dating him after she cut me off, so I never met him. From what I heard from V, he was a really good guy, and M is obviously devastated. I genuinely feel sorry for her. I thought about sending some flowers or something as a small olive branch, not in an attempt to rekindle the friendship, just to offer my condolences, but then decided against it because I figured that hearing from me, a person she obviously doesn't want in her life, may make her feel worse while she's already grieving. V and I live in the same city, while M still lives near our hometown, about 2 hours away. V texted me yesterday to make plans for the funeral. I was really surprised and told her that I had no intention of going, and V blew up at me. She said that I was being selfish and petty about something that happened almost a decade ago, and letting my hurt feelings get in the way of being there for my friend. I told her that M chose to not be my friend 8 years ago and hadn't been there for me during anything since, so didn't feel that it was my place to show up for her. I also told V what I'd thought about sending flowers, that M probably won't even want to hear from me or see me, considering that she hadn't reached out once since 2014. V told me that it was presumptuous to assume that, so I told V that she was being presumptuous to assume that M did want me there. Then V called me a coward. I'm not nearly as close to V as I'd been with M back in the day, so if V decides to cut contact with me over this, it won't be the end of the world. But I'm curious, am I being the a-hole by not reaching out to M or attending her husband's funeral? Not the a-hole, since you have zero clue why M ghosted you. You also have zero clue whether your presence would be a comfort or a curse. And no matter how close you were back then, you are not in her top 5 closest friends now. So, certainly you don't show up unannounced. If V wants you to go with, she should finally give up some information that she's been keeping from you and explain why she thinks M would want you there. Not the a-hole. M chose to leave your life. You didn't know the husband. I think V knows more than she said she did, but also think that maybe she's been told a skewed view of whatever it was. You don't let go of being dropped and left for 8 years. I, 28 female, am married to Nick, 30 male. I work from home and earn significantly more than Nick, as he decided to pursue his education and is currently in apprenticeship. The house where we live is my parents' old 4-bedroom house, which was gifted to me when I turned 18, as they had to move in with my nan due to her health back then. Now they have her house, which is significantly bigger. After the sale and before meeting Nick, I have done a full renovation for it to look more modern. Currently, me and Nick have joined savings for a new and better house, and I have also got a decent amount that I saved myself. As the house is a gift and mortgage-free, we only pay the bills, which allows us to save more. In no way or form we are struggling for money and are still able to afford holidays and such. Now Nick came from a large family, and since the lockdown ended about a year ago, they started coming to see us and stay over every other week. It got to the point where I feel cramped in my own house due to how many people there are and due to how much space they take. Sometimes they overstay their welcome, making it nearly impossible for me to work or concentrate on my hobbies. I'm not mentioning the amount of cooking and tidying up when they are staying or after they leave. After they left last time, I have decided I have enough. Took some time off work and converted the smaller bedroom into an office/gaming room, which also has a library space and a cozy sofa for me to chill. I finished soundproofing it just before this weekend. Nick noticed my workstation has gone but hasn't asked anything. Last weekend my in-laws came in again, and I have told Nick some will have to book a hotel as we don't have space. That's when he saw my office. Him and his family got upset and they decided to stay at the hotel instead, and it was godsend to be able to relax in my own house for once over the weekend. I was able to catch up with some work too. Yesterday after they left, Nick called me an a-hole for setting up an office and not telling him anything. He also demanded I needed to return to my previous arrangement and convert it back into the bedroom. I have reminded him that I work from home and need a quiet space to work, as well as it's my parents' house, and he has never asked me if I'm okay with his family being over so much. Nick has been sleeping in one of the spare bedrooms and stopped talking to me, as apparently I have crossed the line and an a-hole for saying that about his family. Am I the a-hole? Realize I have forgotten to add some pieces. Just after the lockdown ended, I have told Nick I will be converting one of the bedrooms into an office space. That's when his family started coming over. I have told him that they are too much and needed to cut down on visits or have us visit them, but it was met with, they are family. After they left, I'm dealing with all the cleaning after them. The door to the spare bedroom was open, so Nick could clearly see I was doing something there. And he didn't say anything. I assume he remembered my plans and was okay with it. Hell, he even complimented the sofa there. Someone has advised me to add this. The normal visiting bunch are my mother-in-law, father-in-law, and 6 underage, under 18 siblings, 17-year-old male twins, 16-year-old daughter, 15-year-old son, and 12-year-old female twins. He has over 18 siblings too who visit, but normally they stay Thursday to Monday, and it's normally 1 or 2 at a time. They do games most of the time together with my husband, which is another reason why I need a separate office space, as they are just too loud. Not the a-hole. Nick can take his part of the savings and go live with his parents. How disrespectful of him to have his family there constantly without discussing it with you, and then telling you to change your office space back. Oh, no. However, you should have talked with Nick about how you are struggling with having in-laws there so much. He should have known about the room change before it happened. Not telling him was disrespectful and rude, and that does make you the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Tell your husband he is responsible for the hosting, cleaning, and cooking for his family, who only started coming over when you said you wanted to have one of the rooms as an office.